Hello everyone, we are coming to you from my desk area right now, and today's video is all about perfectionism. So this is actually a topic that I go over in my one-on-one coaching program called Master Your Mindset. I spend a whole week with my clients figuring out where their stories of perfectionism come from and break it down step by step and figure out what they can do instead to really let go of perfectionism tendency. So here is just a little bit of a taste of what I go through with my clients, and I really just kind of give you my 3-step process for dealing with perfectionism. And I kid you not, I kind of have to do this every day as someone who doesn't want to live their life by these unrealistic standards I set for myself. So here we go. Here's my 3-step process in dealing with perfectionism. The first one is really to work on how you think of perfectionism. When I was younger and when I was, going through my academic journey, a lot of the messaging I got about perfectionism was that, oh, it's a strength. Women, especially women of color, are kind of trained and taught to always do things perfectly because we're scared of what others think. We're scared of failing. We're scared of rejection. We're scared of saying the wrong thing. We're scared of doing the wrong thing in general. And if you consider perfectionism a strength, then you're going to think it's kind of like a positive trait of yourself. And you'll want to keep perpetuating the cycle of constantly worrying about the things that will go wrong, constantly working on something until it's perfect. But the thing about perfectionism is that it's not a strength because it's only based on fear, and anything based on fear cannot empower you, cannot move you forward in your life. And the second thing is, and these are for all my STEMmy people out here watching, is that perfectionism cannot be measured. It can't be measured by any unit, any unit at all, any length, any volume, any area, if you want to be specific. But you can't necessarily measure perfectionism by anything. So how will you ever know?
Nobody's gonna know.
They're gonna know.
If you're living up to that standard, if it doesn't even have a quantifiable number that you can reach. You'll always be striving and reaching for a finish line or a standard that keeps being moved further and further and further away from you. So work on your mindset around this. Perfectionism is not a strength. Change your self-talk and change the stories you tell yourself. For example, and here's my own personal example, I choose not to nitpick anymore at presentations that I make or will make in the future because that feeds into my perfectionism tendencies. And honestly, I could save a lot more time and use that time to maybe practicing the presentation or researching answers to the question if I just kind of stopped nitpicking at figures and font sizes and types of fonts, things like that, because I can personally get really lost in that, and that is a perfectionism tendency that I'm still working on. So change your self-talk around this. Remember, it's not a strength, and you've got to unlearn all of the rules, all of the unsaid rules kind of that you maybe grew up with to really live a life free of perfectionism. Step 2 is to focus on progress instead of imperfections. So what I mean by that is, maybe if you work in a lab, you can 100% relate to this, but maybe you messed up the protocol and you didn't actually get the deliverable you were supposed to make from said protocol. What you did learn is that this specific step is easy for you to mess up because of whatever reason, or this specific step is really important for the chemical reaction that you need to make something in the lab. So now you know for next time, maybe tomorrow when you try it again, that those things are all really important. Or for my PhD people specifically, if you're working on your proposal or your thesis defense, I'm not quite there yet. I'm working on my proposal right now. But maybe I didn't finish everything on my timeline so far when it comes to my proposal. But I did outline my proposal, or I did write one paragraph, or I read 1, 2, 3 sources instead of maybe the 5 to 10 that I set out. Those are all steps forward towards your goal. And that is what you should really be focusing on instead of, well, I messed up that protocol. Well, I didn't finish everything on my to-do list. A really easy action item here for you to do is to just log your achievements. And when I say achievements, it can really be like, hey, I got up on time, I got dressed today, and made it to lab by 10 a.m. Those can be achievements. Achievements don't necessarily need to be like, I got a grant every single day, or I finish an experiment step by step perfectly every single day. That's not realistic, because perfectionism is hardly realistic. So log your achievements every day, and you can do this with pen and paper. You can do this with tracking apps. There are so many like tracking and project management apps. So at the end of the day, you can kind of have a tangible thing that you can see, wow, I really accomplished so much, and you can have that moment to be proud of yourself instead of focusing on all the things that you didn't finish. And the last step in my 3-step process is for you to figure out the answer to this question. Let me know if you're ready for it. If you didn't have to worry about being perfect, how would you live your life? How would you act? What would you do? What would you dedicate your time and energy to that would really bring you purpose and joy? So once you figure out whatever that is, whatever the answer to that question is for you, I want you to identify one step towards it. Anything that can make it tangible, actionable, that you can do maybe daily, weekly, something for you that's something that you can do only for you, that gets your mind off of worrying about being perfect, and that really brings that joy and purpose into your life. There you have it. That's my 3-step process for dealing with perfectionism. The first one is to change your mindset. The second step is to focus on your progress instead of imperfections. And the last step is to think about what you would really like to dedicate your time and energy to if you didn't have to worry so much about being perfect. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out if you also subscribe. And if you're interested in working one-on-one and you want to get into my one-on-one coaching program where I actually help first generation and women of color create their ideal work-life balance and enjoy their PhD experience, you can send me an email at the email address below or send me a DM on Instagram. I'd love to connect with you. So please have a great day or night wherever you are.